Mr. Krishan Lal.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chair, Mr. M.K. Gupta, and Co-Chair, Mr. Vikram Sehgalji. We would be waiting for the Additional Secretary to join in, Nasir.
He'll be joining in another 2-3 minutes. I spoke to his office right now, so he'll be joining in 2-3 minutes.
Yeah. Good morning, Vivek.
Good morning, Jay.
Good morning, sir.
So it's a nice cold morning back in Delhi. I don't know how it is down in South. I'm sure it's a little warmer there, Mr. Vangatramji.
Hello.
Vivek, you seem to be on the golf course with the background.
I'm just trying to feel nice, you know, working from home.
Okay, lovely backdrop.
So I'm sure the weather is a little warm in themselves, so that we can look at Atmanirbharta in this sector very strongly. Tamil Nadu per se continues to be a very vibrant industrial state. As we all know, it's a hub of the auto industry. Plus, it has a large base of big factories and small units across the state. The state has an estimated 7 lakh registered micro, small, and medium enterprises, or about 15.1% of all such units in the country, which is immense, with about 32,000 crore of an estimated investments in them. MSMEs produce a wide variety of products in almost all sectors, as I said. Other than auto, they are in textiles, electronic products, engineering products, auto ancillaries, leather products, chemicals, plastics, garments, jewelry, at all, you know, I mean, that's quite a variety. And with 15% share of the MSMEs in Tamil Nadu, it's whopping, you know. I think we really need to look at this defense sector a lot more closely, and that's why we are here today. So as the MSMEs in the Tamil Nadu are concerned. A little more specific, Tamil Nadu Defense and Aerospace Corridor, I'd just like to say a few words. On January 21, 2019, the Honorable Minister of Defense in India inaugurated the Defense Corridor in the South Indian state of Tamil Nadu. 3,100 crore is pledged by the DPSUs and the private sector in 5 cities, which form the nodes of the Defense Quadrilateral. The choice of the nodes, supporting supply chain by MSMEs, and the advantage of the state of Tamil Nadu make the Defense Corridor in Tamil Nadu a truly preferred destination for defense and aerospace investors.
Vivek?
Yes, Mr. Sehgal, please.
Yeah, I think with the permission of the chair, we should just welcome Mr. Mangatram Sharma, who joined us from there.
Yes, yes. So I think...
and Mr. Dwivedi is also joined us now.
Yeah. Good morning, Dr. Dwivedi.
Good morning, Dr. Dwivedi.
Good morning to you all.
Good morning,
Nice.
Dr. Man. Nice to see you.
Thank you, sir. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
With the permission of the chair, I think if we could start the program, please.
Yeah, please. I think how long will it take, Nasir? How long will it take? Nasir?
I'm just talking to them only. I'm just talking to them, his office only.
Okay.
I think we could start, and I must also thank Mr. Vishnu Mahajan who's also there in the same window as I think Shri Mangat Ramji. So a very good morning to you as well, Mr. Vishnu. Can I request at this juncture now to officially start the proceedings of this webinar, our chair to give the welcome remarks. Over to Shri M.K. Gupta.
Well, thank you, Vivekji. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of PhD Chamber, and I would like to extend a warm welcome to Shri Sanjay Jajuji. Of course, he will be joining in very short moment. Shri Mangat Ramji, IAS, Principal Secretary, MSME Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. Shri Vishu Mahajanji, IAS, Managing Director, M-TIPB, Government of Tamil Nadu, for sparing their valuable time and coming to this webinar and interact with the industry member. I would also like to take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed panelist, Dr. S.K. Jha, Chairman and Managing Director, Midhani, Dr. Mayank Dwivedi, Scientist G and Director, TII, TM, DRDO, Commodore Retired, Mukesh Bhargav, VP and Board Member, L&T Defense, Mr. Krishna, GM Marketing, HAL, Mr. Vikram Sehgal, Co-Chair, PhD Chamber, Defense and HLS Committee, Shri Rudra Shriram, Co-Chair, PhD Chamber, Defense and HLS Committee, and other dignitaries and delegates who have joined here for this meaningful and timely webinar for promoting the interest of MSMEs in the defense sector. Sir, the much awaited measures which are recently announced by the government for growth of Indian defense industry is a welcome step. It will certainly fuel the growth of defense MSMEs also. With several initiatives of the government to indigenize and encourage innovations in the sectors, there are huge opportunities for MSMEs. The units should look at just not producing for the Indian needs, but also explore export opportunities. Global OEMs are open to sourcing from India. The aerospace and defense industry is of strategic importance to any nation. The Ministry of Defense acknowledges the fact that India needs to increase self-reliance in its own national interest. On the other hand, the international defense industry is today global in nature with a complex network of global supply chain. Therefore, it is imperative for the Indian companies, especially MSMEs, to integrate themselves into the supply chain of national and international defense majors in order to reduce dependence on foreign supplies and also to gain a foothold in the international aerospace and defense market. India's offset policy will also go a long way in ensuring this object in the long run. The role of manufacturing of MSMEs in particular is significant for country's development. The growth of MSME sector can contribute to India's economic prosperity through its significant impact of poverty reduction, employment generation, social influences, development, and uniform wealth distribution. The Indian defense industry has come of age with a refreshing policy shift over the last few years. As the country looked to build indigenous defense industrial capability and reduce dependence on imports, MSME will definitely contribute to build a sustainable defense business. Government has been able to drive key programs with speed to bridge the critical assets gap for the military, the primary objective. However, much more is desired from the Indian government to address the secondary objective of building indigenous defense industry capability in India and towards reducing dependence on imports. Given this background, we would like to discuss how MSMEs have built and can build a sustainable defense and aerospace manufacturing backbone in India. I hereby recommend few points for your kind consideration. Global OEMs to be encouraged, incentivized to procure their material requirement from indigenous manufacturers from India. Discourage, disincentivize, and ban the use of Chinese materials used in the defense manufacturing. In order to develop the Indian defense industry, the domestic manufacturer should be encouraged rather than defense traders. In interest of defense ecosystem in India, more and more TOTs, FDIs, MOUs between the global OEMs and Indian companies need to be encouraged and confirmed. Foreign vendors need to be encouraged to form JVs with Indian counterparts to establish manufacturing facilities in India. We also request that there will be regular interface between foreign OEMs and defense manufacturers on MOD platform for discussing the opportunities and issues in offsets. The Indian defense industry, especially the MSMEs, should be pursued to participate in the DTIS Defense Testing Infrastructure Scheme of the government. The approval process of offset obligation project is very slow and needs to be expedited at MOD and to speed up the process of discharging offset obligations timely. The strength of the MSMEs lie in the spare parts and components, and they should be encouraged in the offset obligations. Industry also recommend the threshold of offset be reinstated to pre-DPP 2016 level of rupees 300 crores to enable more obligations and opportunities available internally. I will not take much of your time and would look forward to listen to our keynote speaker and other panelists to share their thoughts on the subject. I hope this meaningful and timely platform will prove to be an appropriate forum to discuss and deliberate upon the issues and way forward for developing Indian MSMEs in defense and aerospace manufacturing. We hope that all the eminent panelists will add their thoughts and vision to the subject to bring out a more conducive and acceptable way forward. We welcome you once again. Jai Hind. Over to you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your warm welcome remarks, especially in this cold weather. I'm sure it warms up the discussions for today and also giving us the directions for the webinar today. I think it'll be, what I'm told is that there is a connectivity problem at the Additional Secretary's office, so he should be joining us a little later. Our technical team is also in touch with them. So I'd like to welcome in the very traditional manner, the way it is done in South, by inviting Thiru Mangatram Sharma ji, IAS Principal Secretary, MSME Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. Namaskaram and a warm welcome from PhD Chamber yet again. And thanks for joining us today. Sir, can we request you for your address, please?
I'd like to thank PhD to take initiative to organize this important webinar, which is very, very important for our state. Now, as you rightly stated, Tamil Nadu gives a lot of importance to the MSMEs. And we are one of the largest, both in terms of numbers and the values and the production and exports. So therefore, recognizing that potential, of course, Sanjay, my batchmate, will be joining shortly. He has been single-handedly doing this and promoting that. And in fact, he was kind enough to organize one of the defense fairs in Chennai about 2 years back. And since then, he has been is a prime mover, and we have been discussing privately and in our batchmates group also the contribution made by him and his defense PhDs. So I also like to thank Mr. Mayank Devedi, Commodore Mukesh Bhagla, Sanjay Agarwal, and other team members of the PhD who have come here today as panelists. And we are really fortunate that I was jokingly asking my officer junior colleague, he is recently joined, and this post has been newly created. And Tamil Nadu, as you know, it has been doing very well as far as the big industries are concerned, both in terms of the whatever investments are coming, the bigger industries, they are doing great. So there was a kind of gap between the big industry and small industry. That is why we have created this new post, so that there is a single window kind of clearance available at our Industries Commissioner's office. As you know, the Industries Commissioners, CIDCO, and other organizations are already in place for providing infrastructure to the small industry, But this part which he will be doing will be mainly for facilitation, trade promotion, and of course the hand-holding and the also like graduating from small to medium and that kind of thing. So therefore, we are really looking up now. We all have the required setup available in Tamil Nadu, and we are just as good as like our bigger brothers, if you say so. But in practice, now we will have a lot of work, and we are giving all support. And incidentally, we are all discussing now in the new MSME policy, and in this MSME policy, I want to bring in some of the suggestions which Mr. Gupta had raised during his welcome address, saying that these things certainly these are very good suggestions, and we will try to incorporate in both the state government and whatever is to be recommended at central government level, we will recommend and try to raise voice on behalf of the industry from our side also, so that it is also heard in the corridors of the bureaucracy. Now, as far as Tamil Nadu, I don't want to go into the statistics because Vishu will be making a detailed presentation. But I want to just kind of thank you for giving us one of the defense corridors. And out of these one defense corridor, the 5 places, they have been earmarked very well. Coimbatore is one of the leading places where already there are a lot of international collaborations are there. We will try to ensure that the more and more MOUs are signed. Yesterday also sometimes 15 MOUs were signed relating from the other countries. So that kind of focus will be always there, so that our MSMEs, they become original equipment suppliers or the number one, the tier 1 suppliers, the big guys. So certainly that is one of our priority areas. The other areas, of course, we have already identified the land at Chennai and other places. And all these 5 places are at advanced stage. Enough land is available wherever people from other states or countries they want to come. In the MSME groups, we will be always supporting them. We have already earmarked 20% of the land in SIDCO and SIDCO industry for all the MSME units. So these are some of the initiatives which we have taken, and a lot of focus will be given on our promotional activities, both the domestic trade promotion, similarly for the international promotion. And you will realize that we are very competent and a very fast officer is with me, and he will be able to convince you more. I have just recently taken over yesterday, but I wanted to kind of participate in this meeting just to assure you people that we are giving highest priority from the government side, and we really look forward that more and more people come from the northern state. I'm saying it because traditionally PhD is from Punjab, Haryana, Delhi, and I'm also from that area, and now I'm making it as my home. So nobody will regret if you start a unit here or you have one more home there. Therefore, I welcome you all. We are all capable of handling all, whether it is hurricane or cyclone. This boy was handling all kinds of floods during maintaining the earlier postings. And we are frankly speaking, within 2 days we were normal. So therefore, we are well equipped. Don't worry about those hurricanes or the cyclones or the floods. We are very, very, very well prepared, and the administration, as you know, is highly, highly responsive, and they are able to react, and rather they are proactive in all kinds of things anything required. And I would like to assure you that this environment will be there, and please come forward, come here and set up your units. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thiru Mangatramji. First of all, let me at the outset thank you for joining us in this webinar, despite the fact that you actually took over this position as late as yesterday. So we're highly obliged, and definitely it shows your commitment to the cause of getting MSMEs from all over the country, including North, into the Tamil Nadu corridor, the defense corridor. So thanks once again. And yes, as you said, we are originally from Punjab, or the Greater Punjab, as it used to be. And now we have the largest number of offices across the country in about 17 states, and also an international chamber with offices overseas. But yes, thanks to the support and blessings of all of you, we have grown to that size. And I must thank you for your commitment to take our voice to the central government corridors, the voice of the industry, to the central government corridors, and helping us on the issues and the points raised by Shri M.K. Gupta, our chair of the Defense and the Homeland Security Committee at PHDCCI. May I now request our other guest from Tamil Nadu, Thiru Vishu Mahajan, IAS, Managing Director, M-TIPB from Government of Tamil Nadu. A very warm welcome to you, sir. And we look forward to this interesting presentation, which we are hoping to see to understand what all is happening down in South. In the meanwhile, I can welcome Mr. Rudra Shriram, our co-chair for the health for the Defense and the Homeland Security Committee. I can also see Dr. S.K. Jha's window. Thank you, Dr. Jha. Dr. Jha, I don't know if your camera could be switched on to give you a warm welcome there. Dr. Jha is the CMD of Midhani. Thank you very much. So over to Shri Vishu Mahajanji.
Good morning to everyone, and I'd like to at the outset welcome our respected Principal Secretary, Sir Mangatram Sharma, Sir, our esteemed panelists, Dr. S.K. Jha, Dr. Mayank Trivedi, Commodore retired Mukesh Bhargav, Mr. Krishna, and the office bearers of the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry. So I, on behalf of the department, I would like to make a small presentation and share what is the Government of Tamil Nadu's support and institutional structure when it comes to the defense industrial corridor, and what activities have been happening and what is planned. So that is the aspect on which I wanted to speak to everyone. And I would like to share my presentation now. So either the host could share it because it is already shared, or the host can allow us to share the presentation from our end.
So Siddharth, how is it going? Can the host share it?
Yes, sir. Just a second, sir.
Have you got the permission?
Okay, please go ahead.
Sir, please.
It is now visible.
It's visible now.
So as was mentioned, strong and thriving ecosystem in the state. There are an estimated of 4.9 million MSMEs with 9.6 million people employed in the MSME sector. The combined MSME sector produces more than 6,000 products, and Tamil Nadu has the largest share of micro enterprises in India, which is 15.24%. And also contributes, interestingly, to a major chunk of the exports. When we think of exports, we usually think of very big industries, but MSMEs contribute almost half. So as was mentioned by Secretary Sir, Tamil Nadu government has now established a specialist organization for undertaking promotion activities for the MSME sector. It is named as MSME Trade and Investment Promotion Bureau, and I would like to take this opportunity to also speak a little bit about this organization, because it is one of its kind in the country, and it's on par to the investment promotion agencies which have been set up in all these states. But all of them look at the large industry aspect and the FDI aspect. So there was a gap which was felt in the MSME sector, that there needs to be a specialized organization which looks at issues and promotion of the MSME sector as such, because that aspect is sort of left out when it comes to investment promotion. So M-TIPB, or MSME Trade and Investment Promotion Bureau's main role is to promote investments, trade, market access, conduct buyer-seller meets, exhibitions, trade fairs for the MSMEs. It also, aspires to become the think tank and knowledge repository for the MSME department. So any kind of policy research, any kind of market research on the MSME sector will be done by the M-TIPB. This organization.
I'd just like to interrupt you. I'm so sorry for this, but I'd just like to extend a warm welcome to our Additional Secretary, Shri Sanjay Jajuji. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. I understand there were some technical issues which kept you away. We have started the webinar, and after the address of Thiru Mangatramji, Mr. Vishu Mahajanji is giving a presentation. So if it's okay with you, sir, we will have your address right after the presentation of Mr. Vishu Mahajan.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Back to Mr. Vishu Mahajan.
On behalf of the government of Tamil Nadu also, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to Sanjay Jaju sir, the Additional Secretary, Defence Production, Ministry of Defence, Government of India. Welcome, sir. As I was mentioning, the Tamil Nadu has created a specialist organization for the concerns of the MSME sector, and these are the various roles that we are undertaking and the kinds of activities that we are doing. So just briefly about some of the activities that we have been doing. One is export promotion. We have been training and building the capacity of our district level and field level officers to get trained in the exports and export procedures so that they can handhold MSME exporters. Like I said, M-TIPB aspires to become the knowledge repository and policy think tank for the MSME department. When it comes to trade promotion or conducting promotional activities, we have been participating in various trade fairs, expos. Now, all of our events are happening in the online mode, and we have participated in 2 virtual exhibitions also in the past 2 months. These are some of the events related to defense and aerospace, which we already participated in before the pandemic spread. So just this slide briefly mentions the current policy incentives provided to MSMEs. So there are various incentives and subsidies, whether it is the capital subsidy or the power subsidy, the generator subsidy, subsidies for energy conservation technologies, quality certifications, and training. So there is also a single window system for approval for MSMEs on par with the single window system for the large industries. It takes applications and sends them across to various departments. Follow-up is done both at the district and the state level in high-powered committees. When it comes to the Tamil Nadu Defence Corridor, like it was mentioned, there are 5 nodes, and each of these nodes have their own specialization. in terms of manufacturing ability in the aerospace and defense sector. In terms of institutional arrangement, there are two organizations which are looking at the defense industrial corridor. The TIDCO is the nodal agency for the Tamil Nadu government for the overall master planning of the defense corridor and for getting the OEMs to build facilities here. On the MSME side, M-TIPB has been given the specific role of hand-holding and supporting the MSME sector to get onboarded and start supplying to the global OEMs or the defense PSUs and become vendors of this defense procurement ecosystem. So there is also an aerospace and defense industrial policy, which I was told by TIDCO that it is also now in the process of being upgraded, and soon the new policy will also be launched. These are some of the concessions which are available under this. So if in terms of MSMEs, they can either like choose the incentives available under the MSME policy, or they can pick and choose from here as well. So again, various subsidies and incentives are provided for land allotment, capital creation, for power, for environmental protection, infrastructure, etc. And this is what I just briefly also wanted to touch upon what TIDCO has been doing and what is the status of the committed investments already made. These are some of the committed investments, and I was told that as of yesterday, around 9,000 crores has been committed for the defense industrial corridor in Tamil Nadu. In terms of specific infrastructure, the integrated aerospace and defense park with an extent of around 250 acres is being developed at the Vallam Vadagal Industrial Park in Sriperumbudur. And this will offer plug and play facilities for the defense manufacturers who decide to come and set up here. There is also an advanced computing and design engineering center being developed there by the Ministry of MSME, Government of India, at a cost of 150 crores in 10 acres this park. So this is sort of the spread of the current defense manufacturing capabilities in Tamil Nadu. So these are the various subsectors, so to speak, that are currently serviced by various organizations which are shown. So I won't go into the details of each of the districts and the nodes and their expertise, but there are all of these 5 nodes have different specialities. For example, Trichy with its fabrication units and expertise, or Salem with its expertise in technical textiles, or Chennai and Coimbatore with their engineering and capabilities, MRO activities and support systems. Next. As you all would know, there's also a Defense Innovation and Incubation Center which is coming up in Coimbatore, which is being developed by Codicea and supported by the Atal Innovation Mission, NITI Aayog, and the Ministry of Defense. It will provide both testing, prototyping facilities, and act as an incubation center for startups and new technologies. So, in terms of hand-holding and further facilitation of MSMEs, M-TIPB is now in the process of preparing a plan of action where we will develop, we will select and handhold specific MSMEs which show promise. So this is part of our plan for the next 6 months to 1 year, where we will be handholding individual MSMEs which show promise in the aerospace and defense sector in the 5 nodes. These are the various services that we will be offering with our partners. So our objective is to have as many MSMEs as possible to get onboarded into the defense procurement system and start supplying and become vendors to the defense PSUs and the to the PhD chamber managing this So if very specific thing, given the MSMEs will really benefit from that, and they could fine tune their ability and their manufacturing abilities accordingly. So thank you very much. Back to the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Shri Vishu Mahajanji, for that excellent presentation, which is actually going to repose a lot of confidence in more than 150 participants who are there as of now. And we are truly impressed by the professionalism, the way the MSMEs have been nurtured in the state of Tamil Nadu, as I said, accounting for 15% of the MSMEs in the country. And I'm sure the panelists would have a lot of inputs and other questions during the discussions going forward. So at this time, let me welcome Shri Sanjay Jajuji, IES, Additional Secretary, Defense Production in the Ministry of Defense, Government of India. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. I think you need no introduction, as I think all the industry people who are there, they know you so well for the immense contribution which you have been making earlier as a joint secretary and now as an additional secretary. Please accept our heartiest congratulations for your new post and promotion. I'd just like to mention a few things before I request you to kindly address us. Sir, I'd like to bring to your notice that a committee was constituted by the Department of Defense Production to study the roadmap for indigenization of critical and strategic raw materials for manufacturing of defense products, with PhD Chamber as a convener of this committee. The committee was chaired by Dr. Jha, who is also with us right now in this webinar. So we'd like to profusely thank Dr. Jha for doing the honors of chairing this committee. The report of the committee has been submitted for consideration and further action. I am also just pleased to share with you that PHDCCI has also been placed in the category of a think tank as per the press release for the Defense Acquisition Procedure 2020. So with these words, I'd like to request our chief guest for today, Shri Sanjay Jajuji, to kindly address us. And of course, I will request you once again to stay back with us, because we'd also like to have a concluding remark from your side after the panelists have discussed certain points and issues. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Vivek. Mr. Gupta, the chairman of PHDCCI Defense and HLS Committee, my very dear friend and very happy to see his face, Thiru Mangatram Sharma, my batchmate, my very close buddy. Good to see him occupying the seat of Principal Secretary, MSME Department in Government of Tamil Nadu. It's indeed very warm to see you on the other side, sharing the panel with us. Also like to acknowledge the presence of the champions from the industry. I can see Mr. Bhargava, I can see Mayank from DRDO, I can see Mr. Vikram Sehgal there from Micron. I think there are lots of faces, familiar faces. Like to acknowledge the presence of three leaders, and I can also see that they're close to about 150 odd participants. And I'm told that this is primarily focused on the MSMEs, and I also understand that Tamil Nadu is the focus. So let me confine myself to this part of the segment and to the MSME segment, and also later on I'll like to inform you about the steps that we are taking in the state of Tamil Nadu for enhancing the defense manufacturing ecosystem. Friends, we keep using this word that MSMEs are the rising stars of our manufacturing ecosystem. In fact, they occupy a very pivotal position. Bulk of our production actually comes in from MSMEs, and now with the revised definition of the MSMEs, practically except for the majors, everybody else is an MSME. So one can say that it's imperative that we focus our energy and attention on the MSME segment. Let me just quickly outline to you a few things, because we are in December. So I should tell you what all we have done over the course of this last 1 year. You all know it's been one of those challenging years, one of those forgettable years. But in terms of creating a defense manufacturing ecosystem, few steps that have been taken, starting from the Atmanirbhar Bharat package, and as part of that, you're all aware that few decisions have been taken. To bring out a negative list. A negative list of 101 items have been brought in. These are those items which were hitherto imported or were likely to be imported in future. So now an opportunity has been thrown open to the industry to look at these items and go in for their domestic manufacturing. A decision has also been taken to permit foreign direct investment up to 74% under automatic route in defense sector. Third, defense acquisition procedure has actually been reformulated, and the revised procedure is in public domain from 1st October. It brings out fundamental changes to the way defense procurement used to happen, a real thrust to indigenization, categories like buy global / manufacture in India being created to ensure that we not just create capabilities for design within the country, but even allow licensed manufacturing to happen with the help of private sector. All this is not going to happen unless and until the industry plays a role and we create a supply chain manufacturing ecosystem. And that's where MSMEs have a huge role. We have also brought in a draft defense production and export promotion policy. It's in the public domain. And when you look at it, you'll realize that we have devoted an exclusive chapter for private sector and MSMEs in this policy. And we are talking about the entire gamut of strategies which are going to be brought into the defense manufacturing ecosystem from the government side to ensure that participation of MSMEs is enhanced. While this gives you a broad picture, defense, of course, is a monopsony. It has its own risks, it has its own rewards, and I'm sure participants are mindful of this risk and reward paradox, which is always there in defense. Why I say MSMEs have a very important place? When we look at our overall defense production ecosystem, currently out of the total production that we have of about 80,000 crores annual, about 45% of it is actually contributed through outsourcing. That means about 35,000 crore actually comes in from outsourcing. And out of this 35,000 crores, of course, I am again going into the old definition of MSME because I really don't know who is not an MSME now. If you go by the old definition, out of this 35,000 crore, close to about 25,000 crore actually comes in from MSMEs. All the production system that we have in government, our ordnance factories, our defense public sector companies, all the private sector majors, the likes of L&T, Tata, Bharat Forge, Mahindra, they all have their own supply chain, which is constituted primarily by the MSMEs. So MSMEs have actually already got a strong foothold in the defense manufacturing supply chain. But while on the other side, they were part of the supply chain, I'd also like to bring to your notice another important facet that has actually come in, where MSMEs, and when I say MSMEs, I also look at startups as MSMEs. I look at this entire segment of innovators who are coming up in large number in our country. This entire segment is also now getting into design. The Innovations for Defense Excellence program that we have launched has brought in multiple challenges, and startups from all over the country have embraced these challenges and are actually developing futuristic solutions to solve military problems. And in fact, the current round of Defense India Startup Challenge 4 is getting over today. And we are again seeing a very humongous participation coming in from the startups and the MSMEs. Of course, this being the last date, I'd like to exhort the entire startup ecosystem and the community here to make use of this opportunity, participate in these challenges, because it is with the help of these challenges that we give you entry into the defense ecosystem, get you a kind of an internship into the defense manufacturing ecosystem, make you understand the nuances of how defense business is done. And as we say in ITEX, we help create and help seed future defense enterprises. So ITEX is one window which has actually opened a lot of opportunities for MSMEs and startups in the design space. You're also aware that there's a huge segment of the MAKE projects which are exclusively reserved for MSMEs. We have the MAKE 2 system of defense acquisition and co-development of platforms, equipment, subsystems and assemblies and materials. Prototypes which are less than 3 crores are actually exclusively reserved for MSMEs. And many of them have actually started to make use of that opportunity as well. They're designing and developing a lot of products and components in subsystems. And again, that would help us, build this entire in future. There are reservations for MSMEs also in the defense acquisition procedure on the revenue route, and I'm sure the MSMEs would be looking at this as a huge opportunity. In 2019, when the government took over, every department made out a vision plan. In the Department of Defense Production, our plan was to double the size of the MSMEs working in the defense manufacturing ecosystem. To double them from the current number of 8,000 at that time to 16,000 by 2024. Very happy to tell you the growth is good. Despite the pandemic and despite a lot of pushback which has happened, we're pretty confident that we'll get, and we'll not just cross this number, we'll also be going beyond this number many folds. MSMEs have also been playing a fundamental role in the exponential increase that we have seen in defense exports in our country. You're all aware that last 2 years now it's almost 3 years, from a paltry 1,500 crores, we are close to about 11,000 crores in defense exports. Bulk of it is coming from components, and the bulk of it actually coming in from MSMEs. The companies which have actually made use of this opportunity to become part of the global supply chains. So the picture looks quite bright, sanguine. As I said, we now need to look beyond these components and get into the design space, and I think that's where MSMEs and startups have a huge role. Coming to the partner state, that's Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is very important for us because it's been identified as one of our defense manufacturing corridors. As you're all aware, we have one in the northern India, in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and one in the southern state of Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu actually is one of our principal defense industrial base because of the presence of large number of ordnance factories, Bharat Electronics, Bharat Earth Movers Limited, and also large number of MSMEs who are into manufacturing, especially of the components that are required for various platforms being used in defense. So friends, I'm very happy that you got Tamil Nadu today as a focus state, and I'm sure the MSMEs in Tamil Nadu will be looking at this with a lot of anticipation. We are looking at bringing in investments into Tamil Nadu, about investments of about rupees 4,000 crores have actually been announced during various rounds of investor summits that we have conducted in Tamil Nadu over the course of 2 years. We have been reviewing these investments. In fact, the next review is due next week. And I'm pretty happy to inform you that about 30% of these investments have actually already started to fructify, and the production is also about to begin. Yesterday, MBDA representatives had met me and they told me about the joint venture MBDA has with L&T in Coimbatore. And they showed me pictures, and I was very delighted to see that some seeds that we had laid out in Tiruchirappalli about a year and a half back have already started to bear fruits. We also have, as was mentioned by the speaker from Tamil Nadu, a Defense Innovation Center that we have set up in Coimbatore, along with the Small Scale Industry Association, Odisha. This center has already started to operate, recently been inaugurated. It's also been supported by the Atal Innovation Center. So the idea again is to develop design capabilities, and I'm sure this center is going to play a huge role in doing that. As part of the startup ecosystem that we have 2 incubators in Tamil Nadu, IIT Madras Incubation Cell, a large number of startups which are working for various challenges under IDEX are operating from. At the same time, we also have Forge in Coimbatore, which is not just our partner incubator, but I can say that they are basically a strategic ally when it comes to IDEX. This incubator is providing us the intellectual heft that is required for running the programs of this scale and size. In terms of the investment that have been announced in the nodes that we have nodes in Salem, we have node in Chennai, one in Tiruchirappalli, Hosur and Coimbatore. I'm told that there are a large number of MSMEs which are working out of these nodes. And I would again like to exhort the MSMEs here to make use of these opportunities. Defense is always a slow business. It takes time for seeding businesses. Opportunities do come in, but there's always a bit of a lag when it comes to defense because of the strategic imperatives. But look at defense not just from of defense, but also look at it from the perspective of dual uses that technologies in defense, materials in defense would be offering to the companies that operate in this segment. Also like to finally tell you about the production linked incentive scheme that has recently been announced by Government of India. You might have seen various segments which are there. Steel is one of the segments. You have the photovoltaic cells as one of the segments. Technical textiles is one of the segments. You have auto components, the entire range of electronics, and we are trying to do a kind of a match the column here to figure out how many of those technologies could be applied to defense. And my understanding is large number of them would get applied to defense and aerospace segment. So again, like to exhort you to make use of those incentives as well. There are again global majors post-pandemic, and we're taking calls now to shift their manufacturing lines. And I'm sure Tamil Nadu is also going to be one of the beneficiaries. And with that, again, the MSMEs should have a huge role, because in Tamil Nadu, you have already got a well-developed auto manufacturing a component ecosystem. And it is not very difficult to convert an auto manufacturing component ecosystem from automotives to aero components. Aero components are going to play a huge role, and that's where I think Tamil Nadu should look at it with optimism. There are a large number of orders also are getting placed on HAL for manufacturing of platforms like the light combat aircraft. It's a huge investment, close to about 40,000 crores. Again, their supply chain is primarily located around Hosur and the rest of the areas, and I'm sure Tamil Nadu will have a huge role there as well. So friends, I'm very happy that PhD has made use of this opportunity to talk to the MSMEs, and I'm sure the discussions during the day would allow the MSMEs and startups and new companies to look at defense with a new eye. And I'm sure future definitely belongs to many of the MSMEs, which will become enterprises and stars over the course of the next decade. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for that very motivating and aspirational remarks. And I'm sure it's motivating the industry to a large extent. And the industry cannot undermine the contribution which you've made to the tremendous jump in exports, which has happened with your focus on it as a joint secretary. And we look forward to many more such fiats for the defense industry and the government in this particular sector. So we have noted a lot of points which you have said, and we would be working towards it. And at this point, I would like to request our co-chair.
No, one second. With the permission of the chair, I would like to thank Mr. Sanjay Jaju, who joined a little late. Earlier, I had acknowledged his contribution to Tamil Nadu, which he has single-handedly organized the Defense Expo and brought Honorable Minister, Honorable Prime Minister here. Now, after that, a great momentum has been developed in the entire state of Tamil Nadu. So we are personally, I would like to thank Mr. Sanjay Jaju for bringing and raising the our profile in terms of that is why the second defense corridor we got it. And as you rightly mentioned, we have the ecosystem and we would like to meet the expectations of the government of India. You mentioned technical textiles. Now, for example, we have one dedicated small Silco estate, which is only for the these kind of technical textiles. There is another small industry which claims that we make from pin to any part of the defense highest precision kind of equipments. Therefore, with these words, I would like to assure you and acknowledge the great contribution you have made to the upliftment of the overall MSMEs in Tamil Nadu. Thank you very much. And I'm sure that you will continue your soft corner because of me also. Okay.
Thank you, Thiru Mangatramji, for adding to the warmth of the entire discussions by bringing in that angle. And as I said, we have noted quite a few points, whether it is the a very interesting area which you brought about, sir, of how the auto hub of down south can be, transformed to the aerospace production. May I now request our co-chair for the Defense and the HLS Committee, Shri Vikram Sehgal-ji, to kindly give his opening, give his remarks on the industries from the industry point of view. Over to you.
Thank you, Vivek. On behalf of the Defense Committee and the HLS Committee of the PhD Chamber of Commerce, it is indeed a great pleasure for me to welcome once again Shri Sanjay Jajuji, IAS Additional Secretary, Ministry of Defense Production. In fact, I think there is rarely anybody in the defense industry in India who does not acknowledge and does not know about the immense contribution of Shri Jaju, both in defense production and defense exports. He has not only been the architect of the defense production and export policy, but he in fact has totally streamlined and, if I may so, totally revolutionized the defense exports from India. And he's also created an ecosystem which is extremely responsive. Even today, for any kind of defense exports, any industry may face a problem. Thank you. I would like to welcome Shri Mangatram Sharma-ji, IAS, Principal Secretary, Government of Tamil Nadu, Shri Vishnu Mahajan-ji, Shri Dr. S.K. Jha, Dr. Mayank Dwivedi, Commodore Mukesh Bhargav, Mr. Krishna, and all the other industry members who are part of this webinar. So the MSME is the backbone and a staunch pillar of the Indian economy. There are 30 million units employing 70 million people with over 6,000 products, which contribute to 45% of the manufacturing output and 40% of exports. Like you said, Sir, Mr. Jadu, that the much awaited reclassification of the MSME was finally announced by the government in July this year. This resulted in the addition of a large number of companies being included in the MSME basket. In fact, the constraint which was there for years on the investment and turnover value was unleashed with this reclassification, and this resulted in investment and growth opportunities for the various companies while still remaining in the MSME category. I believe that in 2020, there were 10,000 plus companies in the MSME sector which were part of the defense industry. And with the new definition, I'm sure the target which the Digital Secretary mentioned of 16,000 has probably been reached or will be reached very soon. The various structural policy reforms for the defense sector in particular and the MSME sector in general will also result in a greater impetus and is bound to increase the share of the MSMEs in the defense industry. In general, we had the subordinate debt for stressed MSMEs. We had the 3 lakh crore collateral free loans for business MSMEs, which were part of the package. So specifically in the defense sector, the DPP 2020 has also initiated several favorable policy announcements for the MSMEs. We have the 1.5 multiplier for MSMEs for offsets. We have the reservation of contracts and tenders below 200 crores. We have now a great opportunity in the offset program for MSMEs to become part of the global supply chain of foreign OEMs by entering into joint ventures, TOTs, etc. The import embargo, the Digital Secretary talked about 101 products. The big projects also he spoke about. Again, all these decisions are extremely favorable for the MSME industry. So the target in the defense production and export policy of 1,75,000 crores of defense output and 35,000 crores of exports stipulated in 2025 will really be achieved if the MSMEs can be a very large part of this contribution. However, sir, I want to make a few suggestions which may be useful for the MSME as we go forward. We had the MEIS scheme, which is the Merchandise Export from India scheme, which gave subsidies for export. This has now been replaced by the what is called the, I think the direct, it's been replaced by a scheme which will give incentives for exports. But I just wanted to make sure that, the defense sector, which was hitherto not part of the MEIS scheme, should be included in this particular scheme. Also, initially, advanced licenses for imports for defense products were allowed, but duty drawback was not allowed. Maybe we could include that. And I think the last point I wanted to make was regarding the production-linked incentive. This point was raised by the Additional Secretary. Now, this has talked about 10 sectors, and it's talked about a large amount of subsidy or large amount of capital to be allocated over 5 years of 1,46,000 crores. It does mention technology products, but it doesn't really mention defense products. Electronics is mentioned, telecom is mentioned, but purely mechanical products being made for the defense sector, I don't think is really covered in that, though the defense secretary, one of the webinars did mention that all defense products would be covered. So I just wanted to make sure that, we should cover the defense sector, particularly the mechanical area which does not come under the categorization of electronics. Maybe somebody, one of the panelists after me will be able to, highlight this area. And so we from the industry are confident that the continuous encouragement which we've been given by the government for the MSMEs and the creation of a more conducive environment will increase our share of orders from the DPSUs, the OFB, the armed forces, the global OEMs, and also the Indian private sector companies. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Sehgal, for those remarks. And I'm sure they should find ways, especially the suggestions, into the incentives and other production-linked observations, PLI scheme related observations which you have made. So I'd like to now switch over to a quick discussion with our esteemed panelists for today. And I'd like to just introduce our panelists for a moment. We have Dr. S.K. Jha, who is the CMD of Midhani. We have Dr. Mayan Dwivedi. He's Scientist G and Director DIITM from DRDO. We have with us Mr. Krishna, GM Marketing, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. And we have Commodore Mukesh Bhargav, Vice President and Board Member of L&T Defense, the company, of course, which Jaju was also referring to for doing some very positive and encouraging work back in South. So with this, I would like to request first the Dr. S.K. Jha, CMD Midhani, to give us out some details relevant to the industry, especially the MSMEs, as well as what you see so far as the Tamil Nadu corridor is concerned. Over to you.
Yeah, good morning. And today's our guest of this webinar, Sri Sanjay Jaju, Additional Secretary Defense Production, Principal Secretary to Government of Tamil Nadu for MSME, and all our friends from PhD Chamber of Commerce, co-panelists. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Already regarding policies, already this floor has been already laid for that. What I would like to mention that MSME are not from today, in fact, for defense PSUs and for that matter OFB, they are very much integral part of us. And today also, when we say that more than 40-45% of our activities, the MSME are contributing for all the industries. And in the recent past, the initiative taken by the government of India, that it was realized that during this pandemic especially, they should not suffer for want of the payments. And I would like to mention that all defense PSUs and OFB, the type of initiative we have taken, we have paid their dues on time, and that has really given us the support. And they are today, during this pandemic also, they are with us. I am very happy to say that MSMEs are contributing a lot. And whatever we have had the vision that their growth should be go for right from the today approximately around 8,000 to coming to 10,000 or 15,000 in future. It is possible for this type of initiative only when they find that they are able to get the business and they are able to get the job done, they are getting their payment on time. And coming to that Tamil Nadu corridor, and which already has been told that Tamil Nadu has a great success for the automobile industry. I feel that for the defense, the time has come when the similar type of initiative has to come in the country. And it can be done, it can be possible if you have a cluster and focus towards a certain technologies, certain activities. Let's say if the materials production or component production or sub-assembly production is the one sector, we can focus in one area. Design part also we can be parallelly aligned with that. And more than that, I will focus about the materials. So today, our MSME, they also suffer that they are not getting the materials on a right quality and right type of material, a right quantity on time. That is also putting a lot of stress on their activities. And in that process, they get the delay in their delivery. So I would like to mention that wherever we have the clusters coming in Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore, we should have a total requirements of the materials coming from those sectors. And those materials also can be indigenized in the country. Now today, what we are facing that if an MSME wants to buy a certain amount of certain materials quantities, which is not economical for industry to produce, they have to rely on the supply from the overseas, from the outsourcing, from the different type of traders. And that process, reliability and the quality of material is coming as a question mark. And where I have seen that not only the requirement of production facility within the country, but also the defense testing, material testing infrastructure also is not appropriate. And for a number of times, even though there is a motive that we must indigenize the materials they want to buy from the Indian source, but for the want of certification properly, proper quality certification, they have to still rely on the international supplier. And that has to be resolved once we are discussing on this platform that what should be our action. And it is possible if we integrate their requirements, and then it can be a certain type of coordination, as our Additional Secretary has mentioned about the innovation cell, or some place we have the idea of getting the design has been taken care by that. Similar way, the materials requirement also, we should have agency and that there, which can be certified, which can be properly tested, and then given to this MSME so that their production and their involvement is not. A number of times they are not able to even the supply also because this material is not available. So I would like to say that the sector wise, whether it is coming this Tamil Nadu corridor or any other place, if that type of facilities are given, I think their numbers will certainly increase, and that will help in adding their participation in the defense manufacturing. And especially when we are coming with the policy, where in our defense acquisition policy, there's a lot of emphasis on the indigenization. Indigenization content can be increased only if you have starting right from the basic raw material. If you are depending raw material from the outside, improving that content of indigenization of the value, which we are now envisaging that somewhere it is 50%, some place we want the 60% during the depending on the categories, which already additional categories has come that the global and Indian manufacturing in the India, the 50% IC should be there. For that type of requirements, unless you have a complete manufacturing base in the country, it's not possible to meet the targets. So that should be, I think, discussed on this platform. And of course, policy is already laid down. We have a lot of now incentive is there for the MSMEs. So we have to go in that direction and then see that how the MSME can flourish in this country. And without their participation, whatever we have the target of going for export of $5 billion by 2025, or our going for our production level of 1,75,000 crores in next 5 years. It is not possible. So they are today, if they are contributing 40-45%, it has to, that volume is growing, the numbers will automatically grow, and then their participation will be on the higher side. So this is my submission, and the support which is coming right from today, more than the monetary support is still there by the different policies, but technological support also they have to be given. If the technological support is there, then only this MSME, their strength will go up and they can fill this gap, because all the technology which we are having, talking about the defense, that developing and acquiring is difficult for MSME type of companies. Unless it is supported by the industries like big industries, then only it is possible that to get the, you can get the right quality and right products coming out from there. So this is my view. I think left to the other panelists to give their view on this platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Jha. Definitely, I think you brought in very key points related to the payments to be made to the MSMEs, and where all these DPSUs are making a significant contribution and compliance, if I can say so. So that is one part, and of course, how the MSMEs can move and accept the challenge is a big question. And I'm sure I will be inviting Commodore Bhargav to address that, being a large company, and how they can and they will like to make this happen. But before that, may I request Dr. Mayank Dwivedi from DRDO to kindly share his thoughts as to where does MSME fit in the DRDO scheme of things as of today. And like we talked about, of course, the Innovation Center, which Sanjay Jajuji and even the presentation given by Mr. Vishu Mahajan talked about, it is an interesting aspect which we are trying to develop on. Would like to hear from DRDO and through Dr. Mayank Dwivedi on this. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Shri Sanjay Jajuji, Additional Secretary, Defense Production. Shri Mangatram Sharma ji, Principal Secretary, MSME Department and Government of Tamil Nadu. Mr. Vikram Sehgal, Co-Chair, PhD Chamber of Commerce, and as well as CMD Micro Instruments, Dr. S.K. Jha, CMD Midhani, Commodore Bhargava, and my all friends from PhD Chamber of Commerce, all the participants who are listening to this webinar. Very good afternoon to you all. First of all, I will thank PhD Chamber of Commerce for selecting such a good topic about the MSMEs of Tamil Nadu. Basically, primarily, let me tell you the number of MSMEs, the contribution of MSMEs, primarily from two states, Tamil Nadu and Maharashtra, is phenomenal. And as rightly told, that 50% of total MSMEs in India, they belong to Tamil Nadu, and Tamil Nadu is a very important factor as far as DRDO is concerned, because one of our very important labs, CVRD, which designs and develops tanks, Arjun tank, it is situated in Avadi, Chennai, and also we have got Research Innovation Center at IIT Chennai campus, where we are supporting electronics, optoelectronics, computational technologies, naval systems, naval technologies, and also some advanced vehicle technologies. As a matter of fact, if we talk about DRDO, and if I say the role of MSMEs in DRDO is phenomenal, let me tell you, not less than 90%, whatever the systems we design and develop, everywhere the components and subsystems are produced based either on DRDO technology or bought out item from MSMEs. If I give you one simple example of Akash missile system, where 254 industries are there in the supply chain, their BDL and BEL, they are the lead system integrator, but remaining 252 industries, they are MSMEs. In global supply chain, if you see the role of DRDO developed industries, today let me tell you, all the big global industries like Lockheed Martin, Airbus, Boeing, Biosystem, anything you name, the industries which have grew up with DRDO developing their technologies, those MSMEs from Hyderabad, from Bangalore, from Chennai, everywhere they are supplying, and they are very important part of global supply chain. And it is not that DRDO has supported them in the technology and that's how they have come up. Basically, they have got that intense zeal in them. And that's how, with our support, they could grow because they were having that intent. And today, let me tell you that whatever products we are making without MSMEs, the supply chain, we are not able to supply the quality product to the user because this entire ecosystem has to exist. As a matter of fact, today the type of the variety of policies, various mechanisms, schemes are available in Government of India. As Mr. Sanjay Jalu told, about 101 number of negative list which has been thrown open. Apart from that, 200 crores, lesser than 200 crores, nothing can be imported. So like that, many such things have been done. If I talk about DRDO, then 108 items have been thrown open that DRDO will not design, develop and manufacture. Now industries can go ahead for those items. Similarly, the TOT policy, if you see, for all the development partner and development and production partner or production agencies, it's a free of cost TOT. Otherwise, only 5% meager amount of the development cost is being charged. And today the royalty is 0% if you supply to government agencies. So like that, so many things have come up, and that's how today you see in the ease of business index, India comes at 63rd position, and global innovation index, we were not able to come less than 15, or this year we have come at the rank of 48. So these are all the growth parameters, and these growth parameters are not coming because of we government agencies are working exceedingly well. It is because you are doing exceedingly well as whole, as country as a whole. That's how we together are able to achieve all these global index, ease of business, everything we are coming up. I will like to share one very good thing with you. DRDO in its policy has got that we transfer the technology, and after that, if any industry wants to develop any innovation over it, then we give the exclusive marketing right for that particular thing to that industry. And let me tell you, there are many industries. I will just name one industry which has recently successfully tested, flight trial tested Pinaka enhanced version, like EEL Nagpur. They have taken the technology transfer from us of Pinaka, and after investing their money, they could develop enhanced version of Pinaka rocket. And that is successfully tested, tried, and now it's likely to get into Indian Armed Forces. The point what I want to drive it, now the MSMEs, because the EL still comes under, as per the definition, in SME category. Now the industries like EL, data pattern from Chennai, so many companies are there who have done such a fantastic innovation. That's how they could develop their products based on our technology in future. This shows the strength of the industries. This gives us a lot of confidence as DRDO that whenever we are working for any product, these industries are there to support us. Because let me tell you, if alone we want to do everything, nothing is possible. We certainly require support of the industries and capable industries. Only one thing I will like to drive, the R&D culture is being inculcated in the industries. I am very happy about it. Also, the Technology Development Fund, IDEX, etc. These are the schemes whereby further we are inculcating the R&D culture by funding by government. But still, we are little away. I think this R&D culture must be further pushed by the industries, because this is really helping the complete ecosystem of the country. Therefore, a few things are there where I still find much more focus is required. Like the one is the quality part. Still, I am finding this quality part is to be looked into, because in various industries, specifically when I talk about the MSMEs, then this quality part, I think the attention is not paid to the extent the way it is paid for the production. Then whatever the design we are doing, how to protect the design, how to control the design, those issues are very important. Many times I have seen some very good idea has been generated by some MSMEs, and somehow some other venture capitalist has come in picture, and that probably this startup, whatever the idea was there, it has been hijacked. Recently one case was there with me. And that's how the particular design, etc., whatever the real fruits to be reaped by the industry, somebody else has taken those fruits. So this, how to control design and how to protect the design. For that, I tell you that documentation is very important. Again, I am finding a problem whenever I go to industries. I visit many industries. I think last 1 year I visited more than 23 cities and more than 800, 900 industries I have visited. The documentation I find very poor. Basically, this documentation is only strength for any industry to do, because when you are working with us, when you are working with DRDO, then this documentation, etc., the design control, etc., becomes very important. Third thing, role of collaboration is very important in the industries, particularly MSMEs. They must learn how to live in an ecosystem. I have seen even in our government companies also, I will not name those companies. The one company has taken one technology, and same company under the Ministry of Defense also comes for the same technology. I think we should know that how to complement each other. If I am the lead system integrator for certain radar system, like BEL is the lead system integrator, and some company like you can say L&T or Bharat Forge or might be data pattern, they are supplying some major components or Lakshmi machine tools. I think everybody should not try to go for the same technology so that we are unnecessarily developing the competition among themselves, rather complementing each other. Because in any big program, in any big project, in any big system, there is enough for everybody to do something and earn profits. When I talk about the, see, I give you one example of gun, that artillery gun, ATAX, which is undergoing it's undergoing the trials. And this is a 155 mm 52 caliber gun. The Bharat Forge, the Tata Power SED, these two are the lead system integrators. And 468 industries are in the ecosystem. Like my dear friend sitting here, Mr. M.K. Gupta, they are probably making the muzzle brake for it. They are Star Wire company. So you are doing very good work. And if Star Wire also says, I also want to come into the gun and please transfer me the complete technology, then these type of things not possible, because you have to have in a country. So talk about the country like America. How many aircraft manufacturers are there? So primarily, if you talk about fighter aircraft, Lockheed Martin is there. Otherwise, the Boeing is there. But big countries, they are not having the big system manufacture many numbers. And many times in India, we are finding this thing among MSMEs, among LSI and MSMEs, there is a sort of this competition. This is not only creating the delays for the induction, rather it is creating a lot of problems in the sense how to work cohesively. So I think this is the time now. My kind request to you, because I'm director in industry interface, my bread and butter only industry, because I look after industry part in DRDO. I think we must now understand how to live cohesively. This is I will tell you, this is going to be one very, very important thing. As far as Tamil Nadu corridor is concerned, we have already signed MOU with TITCO, and there we have pledged that we are going to be a knowledge partner, and wherever in whatever capacity DRDO will be required to support them, we will be supporting them. Of course, we have got certain rules, regulations, certain policies. Under those policies, as approved by Honorable Raksha Mantri ji, we are going ahead with all the industries. We believe in the level playing field, and we provide the technology and support at level platform. With that, I will tell that in all MSMEs, Tamil Nadu MSMEs are all over the country, all the MSMEs, they are our integral part. Whatever DRDO is there, we are only designers. Our product goes to the armed forces through the industries. And in our industry system, MSMEs are very, very important part for the complete supply chain. So I wish that with our collective effort, we go to the Atmanirbhar Bharat, we make country self-reliant. I can tell you in last 1 year, the type of NOC for the export I have signed, because I am one of the members from DRDO side, to clear the NOC when any industry is exporting any defense product out of the country under SCOMET 6 list. I think even though the pandemic, the COVID-19 was there, but it is going to be a record year. So much export is going to take place. And whatever our dream is there, that our Honorable Prime Minister told that $5 billion by 2025 to be achieved in the export. I'm very sure with the support of my industries and with our collective effort, we will be able to achieve it. Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Dwivedi. Starting with zeal and intent to collaborate and work, I think right down to the optimistic statement of achieving the $5 billion benchmark for exports. I think excellent inputs and encouraging the industry that, after the TOT, any innovation can also amount to exclusive marketing rights and all those other things which you talked about are very encouraging for all the industry here, a lot of which is from down south today, this morning. So I would be inviting the speakers from the industry. Just before that, we have the kind presence of Mr. Krishna, the GM Marketing at HAL. And we'd like to hear him before we hear what the industry has to say, starting with Commodore Bhargav. So over to Mr. Krishna. Kindly unmute yourself. I think you're muted.
Good afternoon. Thank you. Good afternoon, all. Respected Additional Secretary Defense Production, sir. Respected Principal Secretary MSME Department, Government of Tamil Nadu. Dignitaries from Government of Tamil Nadu, DPSU, DRDO, and defense industry. At the outset, let me thank PhD Chamber and M-TIPB Tamil Nadu for giving us this opportunity to share some thoughts from HAL, as well as to have interaction with our existing and prospective partners from industry. So before saying what HAL can give for MSME or the industry, what we can share, I thought it is relevant to touch upon HAL and its projects. Before briefing on that subject, I would like to share a presentation, small presentation, and go with that. Screen. Okay. No? Yeah. Yeah. Is it visible? Slide is visible?
Yes, we can see it. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So I will briefly touch upon current and future projects of HAL, outsourcing at HAL, and a typical case of LCA, how we are done it, and indigenization, scope for MSMEs. As you may be aware that HAL is the premier aerospace company of Asia, with the 36th position in aerospace by revenue, with a turnover more than 3 million, approximately $3 million, with a poised growth rate of not less than 6 to 7% in the years to come. Have total production units placed in different parts of India and 11 centers of R&D. We have, to our credit, having produced more than 17 types of indigenous and 14 types of licensed aircraft, numbering something like 2,700 plus and 1,400 plus respectively. If you see our gamut of capabilities, design, it starts from design and development, manufacturing, midlife upgrade, MRO, aerospace program, and missile integration, thereby meaning that we have the capability to nurture and handhold the industry partners. Coming to the present operations, our manufacturing manufacturing activity includes both a combination of licensed and indigenous platforms. It is like Su-30 MKI and Light Combat Aircraft Tejas, which is indigenous, and Dornier 228, ALH, and Cheetal from the rotary wing side. In this, it is a pleasure to indicate that we have exported the DO228 and ALH produced from HAL in around six to seven countries. They are flying. We also deal with the repair and overhaul and after sales support to sustain the platform, which are with our defense customer as well as overseas customer. They cumulatively we have overhauled with after sales support to the customer more than 33 types of aircraft, starting from Su-30, MiG variants, Kiran, Avro, DO228, etc. We also produce the engines, varieties of engines for the platforms like Shakti, Garrett, AL31FP for Su-30, then R2s. Our operations also include supporting the aerospace program like satellite launch vehicle, and also supporting the marine engine in the MRO and repair activity. What is more important is the future projects which are going to come. To name a few, I would like to mention about the Ab Initio Trainer HD40, which is in the final stage of flight testing. It has got a very special feature of 0-0 ejection seat and multifunction display cockpit, which is going to be flying in the sky in a very near future. Then the improved version of LCA Mark 1A with advanced features like SR radar, then beyond visual range missiles, and it is my privilege to say that now the homegrown LCA is being recognized in the global market also. That RFIs from US Navy, then Australia, Malaysia have been responded by HAL on behalf of DDP MOD. Then following Mark 1A, we will be having LCA Mark 2 in the subsequent years with the furthermore additional features like open system architecture mission computer. While ADA is the lead agency, HAL will be a partner for the design as well as manufacturing. With the effort and experience which has been gained by manufacturing of these aircraft, especially LCA, by the lead agency ADA, the HAL, and the industry as a whole, it is culminating into the design and development and production of 5th generation aircraft, that is AMCA, wherein HAL is a design and manufacturing partner. We also would be coming out with twin engine deck based after successfully demonstrating the capability of LCA on for deck landing, especially for our Navy customer. We have already the light combat helicopter, which is certified, cleared, and which was conceptualized after the need was felt post Kargil war. It has got a very special feature of operating at a very high altitude, 5 km plus, and it has also started proving its mettle before formal induction in the Himalayan range and Indo-China border. Light utility helicopter, the 3-ton variety, also got the initial operation clearance from IAF, and it will be up in the sky very soon. Then we also have got a long-term plan of 12-ton class helicopter, IMRH, Indian multi-role helicopter. So it is in the preliminary design stage. And while we are not into the small segment of UAVs, our project includes 200 kg rotary unmanned aerial vehicle, which is undertaken in consultation with the IIT Kanpur in the near future. We also into aero engine design and development, 2 of them under testing and certification presently. Then as a major diversification effort, civil aerospace, civil segment also is being, we are putting effort in that. Our Dhruv has got already DGCA certification, Dhruv Mark 1 and Mark 3, the latest version also is under certification. DO228 has been certified DGSA, but for the COVID, it would have been flying in UP under UDAN scheme. Nevertheless, the efforts is on, and very soon we may see in the northeastern region operating on behalf of UDAN scheme. Now, having explained about the various projects of HAL, the existing and future, I would like to mention what it means to the industry. HAL has a very clear policy of outsourcing for achieving efficiency in production as well as cost reduction, the benefit of which can be derived by the industry. Primarily, the channels are two. One is job works, in which basically the material is given by HAL and value addition is done by the suppliers or the vendors. Another is import substitution, indigenization of maybe component, maybe a systems or LRU, that is line replaceable units, which we are doing under the guidance and direction of DDP MOD. So our philosophy goes with the fact that make only what you cannot buy, meaning thereby the thrust on developing a good ecosystem for supporting, leaving it to the specialized operators or the domain experts to come out with the design development and manufacturing, thereby increasing the efficiency of production as well as the significant cost reduction. Thereby, the moving towards retaining integration and testing by the principal company. Now, I'd like to show it with an example of our LCA Tejas. When you see the picture of this LCA Tejas, whatever you see from outside have been outsourced. Starting from fin and rudder to Tata Advanced Material and NAL, then wings to L&T Coimbatore, rear fuselage to Alpha Tokol Bangalore, then center fuselage VEM Technology Hyderabad, front fuselage to DTL Bangalore, which you must have seen recently in media, that DTL, that is Dynamic Technology Limited Bangalore, has handed over the first set successfully to HAL. This is how the vendors or ecosystem has been involved in a major project like this LCA, and the same philosophy will be followed in future in all the projects which I have mentioned, which is upcoming in HAL. And this slide shows you approximately 450 odd Indian partners in the supply chain, and there are some imported. In this, the takeaway point for the industries, we are yet to indigenize around 134 LRUs of LCA, which is likely to grow more with the modifications coming for LCA Mark 1A and subsequently Mark 2. These presently, which are being imported from different parts of world, are open to the industry for development and be a partner in this great project of HAL and India as a whole. Now, coming to the approaches of indigenization. As it is said, that primarily there are two approaches. The traditional process was make one, where the industry, the expression of interest was sought, then price bid is opened, then ordering is done, and ask the selected vendor to develop. It has got some demerits in that. Duly recognizing that, since December 2019, DDP MOD has come with a better approach for developing the industry. That is, the expression of interest is sought, and the units, the companies which are shortlisted will go for development parallelly. It is maybe the funding of self and industry, and they are tested for the end-use application. Subsequently, the items which are proved, which are tested and proved, for them only price bid is opened and order is placed. The advantage of this system is only capable and realistic offers are there to compete. Nevertheless, of course, one of them will be selected whose price is reasonable, but others whose product is certified by the agency, by the appropriate agency, they will be given a certificate. And there has been recently some guidelines from DDP MOD again that such certificate holder can pitch their product for the export market. And some points which can be noted is the projects with the estimated cost, that is design, development and supplies, not exceeding rupees 250 lakhs is earmarked exclusively for MSMEs and startup. Is not to mention that other areas are open for the participation. Similarly, any guidelines which is applicable for MSME, which are given by Government of India, DDP MOD, are in total followed by HAL. May it be the provision of advance payment without bank guarantee, may it be the releasing payment within 30 days of acceptance, all are followed in total by HAL. As already said, there are various components, various parts of aircraft, starting from airframe, engine, accessories, LRUs, standard parts, which are globally available. The effort is towards indigenization, towards moving towards Atmanirbhar. This is done at various channels. One is the in-house effort itself, then participation of private industry, collaboration with DRDO labs and academia. HAL has hosted around 560 items for indigenization under Make 2 in website. A list of another 1,700 will follow. Expression of interests are being issued in phased manner, which is available in the website of HAL. It is also a part of the Srijan Defense Portal, which is created by DPIT MOD to facilitate Indian vendors for import substitution and indigenization under the purview of all DPSUs and OP. With this, I would like to conclude saying that HAL is always there to involve the industry around the ecosystem for the inclusive growth of not only HAL as a Indian industry as a whole. I also would like to take this opportunity to wish all the participants to make to take the opportunity of participating in Aero India, which is scheduled in February 2020, where it may be one more forum where we can have interaction. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Krishna, for your presentation on especially the last few slides as to how the MSMEs can get involved with HAL. And I'm sure we look forward to many more such opportunities for MSMEs to interact with you other than the Aero India show as well. I'd like to invite industry responses by first inviting Commodore Mukesh Bhargav. Commodore, a lot of points raised by our first three panelists, and I'm sure you must be stocked up with points also before we get on to the next course. Over to you, Commodore.
Thank you, Vivek. Am I audible?
Very much. Please go ahead.
Respected Mr. Sanjay Jaju, Additional Secretary, Department of Defense Production, Government of India. Thiru Mangatram Sharma, IAS, Principal Secretary, MSME, Government of Tamil Nadu, Dr. Mayank Dwivedi, DRDO, a good colleague, Mr. Krishna from HR, General Manager, senior dignitaries from PhD chambers, my friends from industry, ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you. At the outset, I would like to compliment PhD for organizing this MSME seminar with a focus on Tamil Nadu. I would like to tell Thiru Mangatramji that L&T is present already in the defense corridor of Tamil Nadu in a big way. We have L&T Shipbuilding, which is located in Kattupalli and has been doing a human service to the government of India, Ministry of Defense, by delivering almost all ships ahead of schedule and of high quality. Recently, we also had the privilege of completing 2 export orders from this shipyard. In addition, we have, as Mr. Sanjay Jaju mentioned, we have a manufacturing facility in Coimbatore, which is a precision manufacturing facility, which was established over there with the focus on the skill sets that are available in Tamil Nadu, primarily for the auto industry and for the textile industries. So the DNA of that region has got precision manufacturing in it, and that's why we established this facility, which is also delivered what Mr. Krishna just mentioned, the wings of the LCA. And I hope that we continue to do that work going forward. Third, and the most important, which was mentioned by Mr. Sanjay Jaju also, is the joint venture that we have created with L&T MBDA Missile Systems Limited, which is geared up to meet the requirement of complete missile integration under the Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat banner. I'm very proud to say that last week on the 8th, exactly a week back, we had a privilege of flagging off the first missile launchers for the aircrafts, which was dispatched to our partner MBDA for integration into the Indian MOD program. As Mr. Jaju rightly mentioned, world going through a very unprecedented changes. We can call it like a tectonic shift. And additional to that is a state of transition, which is driving rapidly the evolving security and technological challenges, which is causing stress in the international pecking order and transforming global hierarchies. New centers of powers are emerging, and the nations need to prioritize their affinities and alliances in this world order. India's foreign and defense policies seek to provide a peaceful and enabling environment for achieving transformation, national growth, and development. An increasing unpredictable interplay of regional and global development characterizes the Indian security environment. As far as the industry is concerned, as rightly mentioned by the previous speakers, including Mr. Jaju, has come of age and has developed indigenous capabilities and capacities in multiple fields. In the past 3 decades, industry has graduated from being a tierized supplier of parts, components, and subsystems to DRDO and DPSUs, to designing and developing complex systems on its own as a system integrator. The hiatus of past 2 decades, where there were virtually a freeze on the decision making and procuring new systems for defense and aerospace, armed forces today are saddled with a majority of obsolete and legacy systems, which are now due for urgent need for upgradation and modernization. MOD is expecting the industry to gear up to spend $130 billion in the next 7 years. And Honorable Prime Minister has also given a clarion call for Atmanirbharta in defense production by the year 2025. Under the guidance of Mr. Sanjay Jaju and Mr. Apoorv Chandra, 2 Apex documents, DAP 2020 and DPEPP, Defense Production and Export Promotion Policy 2020, was recently announced with a focus on indigenous defense manufacturing, thus opening up numerous opportunities not only for the major players, but primarily for the MSMEs. Mr. Jaju also mentioned about the FDI under the 74% automatic route, which will also encourage the foreign OEMs to share and come and set up manufacturing partnerships in Indian companies. The DAP 2020, some key factors which are there are, one is a matter of concern with regard to the budget allocation, and which I mentioned earlier also in my talks. A capital budget of about 1.13 lakh crores is projected as a 10% increase on FY20. But if you look at the revised estimates of the FY20, the increase comes down to only 3%, which is just half of the inflation number. We see that capital budget has consistently brought down from 2.6% of GDP to just about 1.65% of the GDP now, where the industry expects to cater for the earlier challenges that I brought out. It should be about 2.8 to 3% of the GDP. So out of this, if we see that 75 to 80% of the capital budget is consumed by already committed liabilities of the MOD, thus leaving a very small percentage which is available for the new acquisitions. And this gets further reduced if we look at the federal military sales and the G2G procurement that is being done by the government. Can I request Mr. Sehgal to mute his mic, please? Yes. Honorable Raksha has announced for the first time in the history an indigenous procurement of a capital budget of 52 crore, which is a huge positive, which industry looks at it. And we hope that at least 50% of this amount would be allocated for procurement through the private sector. The foreign OEMs can also leverage the comparatively cheap labor arbitrage, the high quality of manufacturing, and the competence in the IT and ITES, which the industry has acquired. And a number of companies are already moving to Industry 4.0 status, which would help in bringing up the capability of the industry and become attractive destination for the foreign OEMs to set up manufacturing facility here. Mr. Jaju also mentioned the 9th August announcement of 101 defense products which have been banned. And this includes complete system of systems and platforms like submarines, helicopters, missiles, and weapon systems. We are very happy that whatever cannot be produced indigenously would only be procured from outside is a great vision which the central government has given for the defense and aerospace sector, and would make India also the global OEMs to take note of this industry's capability, especially in terms of the MSMEs, and visualize this unprecedented opportunity as a gateway towards entering into the defense production in India. Some of the key growth drivers, if we look at in DNA manufacturing, is the DAP 2020 focuses on institutionalizing and streamlining and simplifying the defense procurement procedure to give a boost to Make in India, leading towards the Atmanirbharta, with also an enhanced role of the MSMEs, which is clearly delineated in the DAP 2020. Buy Indian IDDM has been introduced to encourage indigenous design, development, and manufacturing of defense equipment. A clear and unambiguous definition of the indigenous content, which would ensure that sufficient procurement gets done through the SME and MSMEs in each of these procurement categories. Almost every category, the indigenous content has been increased to at least 10%. Mr. Jaju also spoke about the MAKE procedure, which has got huge opportunities. MAKE 2 has been notified to encourage indigenous development and manufacture of defense equipment. Number of industry-friendly provisions such as relaxation of the eligibility criteria, minimal documentation, provision of considering proposals suggested by industry and individuals has been introduced under this MAKE 2 procedure. I would also like to highlight the MAKE 3, which has been introduced for the first time for indigenous manufacture and import substitution of spares from foreign OEMs for the foreign OEMs product. This would open up huge opportunities for MSMEs and SMEs to form joint ventures with the foreign OEMs and their supply chains and look for manufacturing of these spare parts, components, and subsystems under the transfer of technology, and also become maybe in future the exporter of these products for the foreign OEMs. The government of India has also announced procurement of defense products up to the value of less than 200 crores to be reserved for SMEs and MSMEs. A new category of buy global manufacture in India, which Mr. Jaju also mentioned, has been introduced, which will make the foreign OEMs set up licensed manufacturing facilities in the country, leading to yet another opportunities for the MSMEs. Strategic partnership model has been introduced, which is encourage the participation of private sector as a system integrator. And as was mentioned by Mr. Jaju, this would create huge opportunities for the SMEs and MSMEs. I would just like to mention the K9 project, the Vajra, that we are doing it in our Hazira facility. We have close to about 200 tier 1 and more than 1,900 tier 2 and tier 3 suppliers, which have been created ab initio for the development of this product. And this is going to get further amplified as we look at going forward. The Product Development Fund set up under the DRDO to facilitate financial support and product development for SMEs and MSMEs. And of course, not to mention, not to lose out on the IDEX program, which is the brainchild of Mr. Jaju, in addition to what human service that he has done for promotion of exports, almost increasing it 7 to 8 times in just 3 to 4 years. My compliments to you, Mr. Jaju. And also this IDEX program, which has been created for the promotion of defense startups, particularly with the initial product development would be funded by the service headquarters. And these product or solution developed by industry for solving the problem faced by the service headquarters is another incentive for SMEs and MSMEs. With that, I would like to compliment PhD once again for bringing up this forum for the SMEs and MSMEs growth. And as I mentioned, the industrial corridor of Tamil Nadu, L&T is already doing a human service, and we continue to support this corridor going forward. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity, and we'll take up the questions in the Q&A session.
Thank you, Commodore Bhargav. And I'm sure, as we discussed in an earlier webinar, now that we've made beginning on the MSME front, we would be also looking forward to an interaction of the MSMEs with L&T to see, how they could actually work with them in the supply chain, so far as L&T is concerned. So that takes me quickly to Mr. Murthy. Mr. Murthy is the Chief General Manager for Commercial Transactions and Commercial Division at GRSE. So Mr. M. Venkatesh Murthy, sir, do share with us things quickly for what is happening back at GRC, especially for the MSMEs. Over to you. You are currently muted, I guess. Can the admin help? Yeah.
Hello, is it audible?
Yes, now it's audible. Please go
ahead.
Very
good morning, sir, and thank you for this opportunity. We at GRSE, presently we are building a warships for Indian Navy and of course Coast Guard. Yesterday we launched a major and mega project of P-17 which is achievement of this situation. So as far as the GRSE is concerned, we have given a more importance to MSME vendors. As of today, for 38% of the value of our procurement, we are already achieved through MSMEs. It works out around 300 crores. And we are given a lot of opportunity in terms of the technical sharing and the support in terms of the financial supports. So we look forward the MSME vendors at Tamil Nadu and nearby, because we already published most of all the items we dedicated for MSME, apart from the standard list as per the Gazette notification. A lot of items like basically we anchor capstan, winches, scuttles. So a lot of items we are already published on our website. I request all the MSME vendors who are intended to do a business with us, we are open. We'll give all our support and extended arms to do the business in this regard, sir. At this, with a very short, I wanted to close, and I look support from all the MSME vendors to increase our business also. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Murthy. That was very short, very categorical, to the point, welcoming all MSMEs. And I could see some chat messages where, I think there's a gentleman called Mr. Naveen Anthony, set of enthusiasts who've opened up an organization called Netmatics, if I got it right, wanting to know, how could they get associated. It's a startup. So questions related to startups coming in. Can I request Dr. Mayank Dwivedi to address that? How could they get linked up with the entire defense production and, supply chain? Because they may be having a lot of new ideas. So how can they start? They don't have prior experience, he says.
As far as startups are concerned, we welcome them, and already we have got, as far as technology transfer is concerned, we have already given to various startups. They have taken the technology from DRDO and they have started manufacturing also. I remember one company who has taken recently the TOT from Anand, Gujarat. And similarly, we are very much open to startup. Startup can come to TDF route. They can apply for any innovation program. As per our, all the technology verticals are there. If they find fit, they can do something good for that. We will fund them. They can come for the R&D and develop the product under TDF. If they want to take any technology transfer, if they want to take, and they have got that particular technical capability to do their job, we will support them. We will transfer the technology to them also. So I think, and also we are coming out with a new policy where a startup can also volunteer themselves that they want to develop some new technology, a new product, where we find any use in DRDO or in armed forces, we are likely to fund them also. So that policy has not come yet, but remaining two other policies are there, a TDF and a technology transfer. The startup can always be helped. There is no issue. Apart from that, if they want any test facility to be availed, which is under DRDO, they can be supported at no profit, no loss basis. The test can be carried out and they can avail the test facility also. And lastly, I will say for the startup, many times we have found that some MSMEs and startup also comes under category of MSMEs. Then they want to develop certain modules, certain interface software, certain technology where they do not have that particular knowledge or that expertise. So they can come to us. We will become the vendor. They will become the vending. We will give our quotations. Again, DRDO is non-profit making organization. They can tell us what do they want to get it done from us. We will develop that particular module, that particular technology, or particular product, and the entire IP right will be theirs because they are funding that. That can be done also to them. So there are various options. Startup can work with us.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Dwivedi. I think you've opened up a plethora of options, starting from a reverse relationship, which you talked about last, that they can actually work with you to develop certain technologies, while they can also do going for TOT, making finance available. Fantastic. So I hope that should get Mr. Naveen Antony and his startup activated. And I'm sure similar such opportunities are also available with industries like L&T or DCM Shriram, who are also on the panel today. There was one gentleman, Mr. Subramanian Sairam. If you're already still there, you wanted to ask a question, I'll request the admin if you can find him and unmute him. He's in the attendees list. I repeat his name, Subramanian Sairam. He put in a message in the chat box. So we'll take about another 2-3 seconds to see if we can hear him. It's always good to hear from the participants, and they've been putting in very encouraging messages in the chat. And we'd love to hear a voice also. Are we able to do it, Siddharth?
Yeah.
Yes, I think we can hear you.
So this is, good afternoon, this is Sai Raman. I'm the Technical Director of M-TIPB Engineers. We're almost about 30 years old in the MSME. We have had a lot of tie-up with defense, like a Center of Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, as well as IIT Madras. We've been supplying also to NFC, nuclear, like I said, a lot of high precision components. with the Department of Heavy Industries, we developed industrial robo and a super precision 5-axis machining center. It was inaugurated by the Secretary of Department of Heavy Industries in Chennai, M-TIPB, and they requested us to write to them, and all the defense industries and the other units will be written. They'll be writing to them, buy this equipment directly, and so that they can evaluate and we can commercialize much better way. And in that connection, I had written to most every ordnance factory in the country, as well as the other units. But I would request them to encourage, because MSME, enormous amount of money has been spent on that. Nearly about 7 crores of money has been spent, both the Government of India and M-TIPB as well as IIT, to develop the robotics as well as the high precision micro machining center. The micro machining center is now presently being imported from Western countries. The very high cost of approximately about 5 crores or so. And we have, it was developed, and the cost of the manufacturing or selling price will be in the range of about 1 crore and odd. Similarly, we also have developed a hot turning machine for the development for the defense DRDO. In fact, they asked us whether we could do the work. We've done that work also. To making it, to commercialize it and selling it to the other units, it becomes a job, because everything goes by the tender. We are not disputing about the tendering process or any such thing, but we request that whether, having developed, and the government has encouraged with their own money in developing these equipments with the MSME as well as other units, if they can take it and encourage us to supply them so that they can evaluate and we can make it a further improvement on that. So this is my only request, and it is not a question.
Right. Mr. Sairam, we understand your concern. And I'm sure Dr. S.K. Jha from Midhani is listening, and also from, we had Mr. Murthy from GRSE. And I'm sure you will also be able to get a lot of help from Mr. Vishu Mahajan on this particular aspect. And I'd like to check in case Mr. Vishu Mahajan is available to, answer or probably give you some kind of support and help to reach out to the DPSUs.
Yes, I am here, and I have been listening, and I have taken note, and probably I will, at the back end, I will connect with Mr. Subramanian myself.
Thank you so much. Can we request you for some concluding remarks from the Tamil Nadu Defence Corridor perspective and the MSME perspective?
So thank you once again to the PhD chamber and to the guests, the panelists, everyone for joining this session, and all the participants. I hope this has been a useful session, and some insight has been made regarding what is the onboarding process for MSMEs to become vendors to the defense supply chain, and what are the areas where the MSMEs need to work on in terms of the quality or how they can improve with the output or productivity and become part of the global supply chain of defense and aerospace manufacturing. Specifically, as Mr. Krishna from HAL, very categorically identified the areas where they have been outsourcing various components and subsystems in the light combat aircraft project, and also for the future projects, and what are the opportunities. So I hope that has been useful, and going forward, we plan to have more focused and one-on-one sessions with OEMs or buyers on the defense side with the selected and shortlisted MSMEs, as I was saying, through our Champions Cluster program. So once we have shortlisted and identified promising MSMEs, maybe we'll have more in-depth one-on-one sessions on the onboarding process and how the selected MSMEs can become vendors with the buyers. So thank you once again, and that's it from my side.
Thank you very much, Thiru Mahajan. That was very encouraging, and I'm sure we'll get on to many more such platforms where we can make a difference, to the industry by promoting the MSME schemes across sectors, like what we focused on the defense and the homeland security today. With this, we can't thank the panelists enough. So therefore, I have this special task, an important task to be done by our co-chair of the Defense and the Homeland Security Committee, Mr. Rudra Shriram. Over to you, please.
Thank you, Mr. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the PhD Chamber, I would like Sanjay Jaju, Secretary of Defense Production, Government of India, for sparing his time, and also Shri Mangatram Sharma, Principal Secretary, MSME, Government of Tamil Nadu, and Shri Vishnu Mahajan, MD, M-TIPB, Government of Tamil Nadu, for coming to this webinar and interacting with the industry members. I also take the opportunity to thank our chairman of the PhD Defense Committee, Mr. M.K. Gupta, Shri Vikram Sehgal, co-chair of the Defense Committee, Dr. S.K. Jha, this chairman and managing director of Midhani, Dr. Mayank Dwivedi from DRDO, and Commodore Mukesh Bhargav from L&T, and Mr. Krishna from HAL. The Chamber always endeavors to bring all the stakeholders of the defense industry on a common platform to discuss and deliberate the issues and opportunities in the changing defense industry here in India. Various webinars we have provided. We have provided a common platform for the foreign OEMs, DPSUs, and the private sector to share their short-term and long-term requirements, which could be procured and dealt from the Indian defense companies. On behalf of the MSME Trade Investment Promotion Board, Government of Tamil Nadu, support for organizing this webinar. I would also like to thank all the partners, MDPSC, Starwire Limited, Limited. We also thank COD, SIA, and TIDI for extending their official support. We hope meaningful and timely webinar will give the way and hope for the MSME of India in defense and aerospace manufacturing. We already had some really good and implementable solutions for the benefit of the Indian defense industry. Lastly, in this crisis we are currently experiencing, it's time for the industry to hold together with all the positive spirits and bounce back with great powers in coming times. Thank you so much. Mr.
Thank you, Mr. Shriram, for those kind words and a warm vote of thanks. And with this, we do come to an end of yet another webinar, but which also encapsulated a lot of information and details for a lot of our attendees. And I would request all to also look up the chat, because there was a lot of discussion amongst the participants and telling us about what they do. Especially, I could see somebody working on the technology front, also security front, to help out the defense companies and the defense sector and the government in the defense area. So do look up the chat. Have a nice day ahead. It's a bright, sunny morning now. The whole thing is warming up back in Delhi, and so does your day. With those wishes, thank you very much, and have a good day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you all
very much
for joining us.
Thank you. Bye.